Our next storyteller is really no stranger to the stage. She is a director of musicals for ConVal. She has been for about the past 6 years. And she's the co-director of ConVal's drama series. And let's give a big welcome to Liz Halper.
Women's intuition, guardian angels. Bashert, which in Yiddish means it was meant to be. In 1985, I was engaged to be married. At the time, my future husband worked in Danbury, Connecticut, and I worked on Wall Street. So we decided to settle in a little town called Chappaqua, which is in New York. You may have heard of it. That was before Bill and Hillary lived there, I might add. But it was a perfect location for us because it would be a 30-minute commute for my husband and a 2-minute commute for me to the train station, albeit on top of an hour-and-a-half commute to Wall Street, taking a train and many times 2 or 3 subways. Anyway, we were married in September, and the following December, Christmas, we got a present from my husband's sons. And I don't know if you remember this, but it was a little toddler popcorn corn popper toy that was attached to a stick that had that bubble, and it was on 4 wheels, and when the little toddler, he pushed it or she pushed it, it was like, and we looked at each other, and the note read, "Dear Dad and Liz, we would like a baby sister or baby brother by next Christmas." 9 months later, our beautiful son Jeffrey was brought into the world. Anyway, having to go back to work, we found an in-home daycare center for Jeffrey at the home of Mrs. Buetti, a little Italian lady. Now, Mrs. Buetti lived on Route 117 in Chappaqua. It was a residential type of street, like Route 136, do you know that, going to Greenfield? Residential, but a bit busy, actually busier than Route 136. It had lots of hills, lots of curves, and so forth. He went there for, a year or so, and it was wonderful. Then we decided to move to another town called Goldensbridge, New York. You probably never heard of that. But it was 4 towns north of Chappaqua. So not to disrupt our son's routine, we kept him with Mrs. Buetti, and I continued to commute to New York from Chappaqua. Now, a couple months later, one of my stepsons came to stay with us, and while he was there, he offered to help us out, and he said, "I'll pick Jeffrey up from daycare." Now, I think he was still feeling guilty about the popcorn popper toy. But anyway, it was great. It helped us out. But on this one particular day, I was in Manhattan, and I had a meeting. I had a client meeting. I worked in sales at the World Trade Center. And the meeting ran much shorter than I thought it would. So I left the office. I'm walking down the hall, and I'm thinking, I really should go back to the office. But I really wanted to go home. I had planned to go home. But no, I should go back to the office. I round the corner, there is the bank of elevators, with one elevator, the big cattle call type of elevator, if you've ever been there, loaded with people. The door is open. I step in, elevator goes down to the ground floor, I step out, and in minutes I am walking on the streets of Manhattan. So I'm still debating, should I go back to the office, should I go home? And I passed the entrance to the subway station, and in a split second I made a decision. I'm going down the stairs, through the turnstile. I get to the platform, and there's an express subway train waiting. Doors are open, full of passengers, and the bell is ringing. The bell meaning the doors are about to close. So I quickly get on the train, the doors close, and we make it to Grand Central Terminal in record speed. Now, I have 3 minutes to make the express train, otherwise I have to wait a half hour for the local. So I step it up with my high heels as fast as I could, and I get through the gate, I go down the ramp, and I see the train, no passengers waiting, they're all on the train, and there's a conductor there. He's about to get on the train, he turns and he sees me, and he waits. I get on that train, the door is shut, and I am going to Chappaqua. Yeah. So on the train home, I'm thinking, this is great, I'm going to get home early, Doug's picking up Jeffrey, I can start dinner, laundry, you know the drill, guys. Spend time with my son, but something was bothering me, nagging at me, and I thought, this is really silly. I'm in Chappaqua early. I should just pick up my son. But I really want to go home early, get out of this suit. Get off the train, pass a payphone. I didn't have a cell phone in those days. And I make another quick decision. I will try and call my stepson. If he answers, I will pick up Jeffrey. If he doesn't, then we'll go according to schedule. He'll pick him up. So the phone is ringing, 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 ringing. I'm about to hang up, and all of a sudden, hello? Clearly he was napping. Hey, Doug, it's Liz. I'm in the Chappaqua train station. Got off work early. I will pick up Jeffrey. No need for you to come down. Anyway, I leave the train station, go up the hill, turn left on Route 117, go down the hill, around the curve, turn into Mrs. Buetti's driveway, and there, on the corner of the driveway and Route 117, is my 21-month-old son by himself. I still remember he was wearing a little red polo shirt, little blue shorts, and Nike sneakers. I looked at him in shock, and he looked at me as if to say, Mommy never picks me up here. Anyway, I opened the door, I swept him across my lap, we drove up the long driveway to Mrs. Buetti's house, and I said, Mrs. Buetti, Jeffrey was on the corner of your driveway in Route 117. What's going on? And she said, oh, how can that be? He was just out on the patio a few minutes ago. How can that be? Well, guess what? The lock on the gate had broken a few days before, and she decided to just put a little twine around it. And my 21-month-old was able to undo that twine and get down to the corner of Route 117 in her driveway. So I've always reflected on this incident and wondered what caused the chain of events, I guess, that led me to that precise moment where I rounded that corner and found my son there. Was it my woman's intuition? Did my son have a guardian angel, or was it Bashert? It was meant to be. Thank you.